Boy, everyone's so quiet. Good evening and welcome to the December 17th meeting of the Glenville Town Board. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Please join me in prayer. Tonight I'll read a passage out of Psalms 15. We look to you, Lord, for help at all times and rescue us from danger. Turn to us, Lord, and be merciful to us because we are lonely and we are weak. Relieve us of our worries and save us from our troubles. Consider our distress and suffering and forgive all of our sins. This we ask in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Councilman Martin?
Here.
Let the record show Councilman Pilavani is absent. Councilman Ramatar?
Here.
Councilwoman Wozzowski? Here. Supervisor Ketzley?
Here. Welcome to the last meeting of the year for the town board. There's an agenda up front. There's 13 items and one add-on, and then new business, and we will be going to an executive session after item number 14. We do not anticipate coming back out and doing any more public business, so you are always free to stay, but we'll warn you that in the executive session we are talking employee contract issues, and so it might be lengthy, and I wouldn't anticipate us coming out and conducting any further business after the executive session. So after item 14, we will go to executive session in the room behind us. You're free to stay, but I wouldn't, personally. And we'll start with item number 4 in the town council reports. On my left with Councilman Ramatar.
No reports, Mr. Supervisor.
Councilman Wozzowski.
I have no report this evening.
Councilman Martin.
Just to report that the comp plan public outreach, the first phase of it, wrapped up with our meeting on December 3rd, and we're I think going to have one additional meeting focusing on the business park area of the town, possibly in January. So keep word open for that. So we're entering the next phase of the comprehensive plan development. And the final thing I would like to express is my displeasure with our governor today and the announcement on fracking. I think he is absolutely wrong. This is a decision that's completely not based on science. And I'm very disappointed. And that sound you hear are additional jobs leaving New York State. And it's very, very unfortunate. This was a decision that was exactly political. And as one person, I'm very disappointed to hear that word today, and I just want to get that on the record.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. We'll move to item number 5, which is privilege of the floor. We have one person signed up. After that person speaks, if anyone else wishes to be heard, simply raise your hand, and you can be invited to the podium to address the board on your issues. Again, just a reminder that we limit comments to 5 minutes. There's 5 minutes for comments, privilege of the floor. So we'll start with the person signed up as Joe Budka.
Hello again, my name is Joe Budka. I own 799 Saginaw Road with an 807 Boulder. I just wanted to kind of touch base with you on the last meeting of the year, get you up to speed a little bit. Spoke at a couple meetings about my neighbor, let you know that pipe, the one meeting he immediately had a survey done to try and contradict mine. The pipe has been dug up and it's capped off 10 feet from the property line. Still in need of a septic system. So that matter has been resolved after a year and a half of misery, and it took me standing up here after going to DEC, NCON, the whole 9 yards. It's kind of saddening to know that I had to come up here before it went somewhere. Anyways, let you all know. Multiple neighbors have spoke over the year of complaints and this and that. So I've had lawsuits filed against me to no avail by one neighbor whose house is currently for sale. Whatever. The March 13th meeting that took place at a neighbor's house that I won't get into how many of you attended. Adverse possession claim was mentioned by one of my neighbors. We've been through this Supreme Court process at the cost of thousands of my dollars. He lost. So you all know he had no right to be on the property, no rights to the property. We're basically slowly plucking off made up innuendos and neighbors just grouping together thinking they can win by outnumbering me. I have no problem spending every dollar I have defending what's right, so you all know. Not to dwell on it much. Kind of just want to wish you all Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. See you till after that. And at this time, I'm going to basically file a little complaint. So it's basically on the FOIL request, and in here you'll find proof of the withholding, which I mentioned earlier, and some answers would be welcomed as to how it happened and to make sure it doesn't happen again. Thank you.
Thank you. And there you go. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as
Sorry,
well,
I keep
Joe.
staying on it.
Okay.
Get back at it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure we'll be in touch after this. After we.
hope so.
Thank you. No one else has signed up. Anyone else? Mr. Looker?
Thank you. My name is Pete Looker. I live on 1965 Amsterdam Road. A couple of years ago, I think the train derailed with some veggie grease or something like that. It's kind of nasty smelling. They didn't clean it up, but then they cleaned it up. Fairly near the town wells, which are pretty unprotected because it's been mined. I noticed today that there were over 40 of those bomb trains. Those ones like the one that exploded up in Quebec that killed 47 people, or they think that they only found 42 bodies, the other 5 disappeared. But I wonder if that's a really good action, a good place to store bomb trains, not just for the businesses there, not just for those of us. The blast zone is like a mile, so there wouldn't be much of us to come back to meetings with if anything happened, if, again, the thing just rolled loose on its own, tipped over, and exploded. So if there's something that could be done about that, that would be nice. There was some suggestion of a water bottle coming to town, and I would think twice about encouraging that. One, my experience with some of the $1 million giveaways across the street, the cable company assembly plant that got rushed through in 30 days, and that was fine, and whatever. It seems to be a significant increase in theft in our area, according to the police. And I guess when you hire people from an Albany company and pay them a day labor company and pay them less than a living wage, and there's no public transportation out there, there's more likely to be problems like that. So giving a company millions and then not even paying a living wage to people just seems to be a bad idea. And I would question if we really need more bottled water in this country, and if we really need to do that. And then finally, an update on Old Domination Trucking. They continue to violate the town law, specifically 270-65 glare shall be confined to the property, 270-73-8. Any lighting associated with parking areas will be directed into the parking area and away from adjacent properties and public right of way. And 270-74E, lighting used to illuminate off-street loading areas shall be configured in a manner so as to not reflect it upon adjoining properties or streets. Light sources shall be shielded and projected downward. So it continues to violate that law. It's been, I don't know, probably approaching a year now. We continue to ask you to bring them into compliance. It would be a lot cheaper than for us to bother hiring a lawyer and going through the whole process to try and get them to follow the law. They're obviously not following the law. We can still be in our bedrooms. The trees are still lit up 60 feet up in the air. There's no purpose for that. It's just blatant disregard for anybody because we're people and not corporations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilker. Anyone else wish to be heard? Privilege of the floor. Seeing none, privilege of the floor is closed. Move to supervisors' comments to the board. It's year end, so I have just some things to go over fairly quickly, and since we just won't see each other again until the organizational meeting on the 7th of January, when we'll pass all the resolutions we normally do. I think, yeah, Jim, you were with us last year. Make sure the committees that and all the people that are volunteers on the different commissions and whatnot are coming back again. We're getting the roster together, making sure everybody is getting appointed correctly. I think ZBA, we have that filled. But if there's anything else, let me know as soon as we can. Linda and I are working on the resolutions already for the 7th. Just do a quick financial update for end of year mortgage tax revenues, which I've talked about all year long. Ended the year at $540,000. That's $135,000 less than budgeted. That's something that we've identified early, noticed early, and have really managed to, but that line is down $135,000 as it ended. Our court fines are also lagging badly. We expect to end the year at about $165,000, down from $216,000 last year. That we budgeted for $200,000, so we're down in that line as well pretty significantly. Chief and I had a meeting today on that and talked about a variety of different issues, certainly, and you'll be seeing this report that he's working on. Certainly there's been an uptick in crime, and I know you can't see this, and I don't have a color printer access to it, so I couldn't do this for you, but this is an uptick in the crime in Glenville. We've isolated it out, and you'll see from 2011 onward, there's been a significant increase in arrests. Now, that may be true, and I don't know if that's necessarily the excuse of why we attribute to our parking violations being down by over 800 over last year, which is significant. But we do have some issues that we'll be talking about as a board into the new year regarding crime. This one is a little bit shocking, at least on a graph. When you look at total shoplifters arrested, look at that spike. I know you can see it pretty easily. It's a significant spike since 2011. So shoplifting has become a crime du jour since 2011, apparently. And we know where, if we dig deeper, we know where that is. So that's kind of where we are with court fines and arrests. Building permits, on the bright side, have been strong at $144,000 through November. Our budget was at $405,000, so we're up. This is the second year in a row of strong building permits. Similar revenue lines such as planning fees, zoning fees, and seeker fees are also well ahead of budget. So obviously the economic development initiative continues, and we're benefiting our budget on that count. Town general expenses are tracking slightly under budget. We expect to end the year with a small surplus in the A fund. However, until we receive the UCC bill from the county, we won't be 100% sure until the end of the year. We're not sure how the inability of Rotterdam to join the UCC will affect the 2014 or the 2015 budget for this matter. So Rotterdam still is not in the UCC. That impacts us because the fixed costs that we're all supposed to be sharing aren't being shared by all municipalities at this juncture. So I had a conversation with Chairman Jasinski today, in fact, on that, and apparently the county is looking at trying to find a way to mitigate that impact on the municipalities outside of Rotterdam. I'm told Rotterdam will join tomorrow morning, but I've been told that on many occasions since May. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully tomorrow morning they will join. Town outside expenses are tracking almost exactly to budget. That's the B fund. We should realize a slight surplus due to 2 budgeted retirements not taking place in 2014. We had many retirements, but we didn't have all the retirements we thought we were going to have. But this is only a temporary reprieve, since obviously retirements with time tend to become more frequent. That we believe in the 2015 budget those retirements will happen, and we'll have to pay that out. So it's good for the 2014 year, but we'll probably realize the expense in 2015. And highway expenses have been kept in check for the past 6 months. In particular, the lower gas prices have certainly contributed to this, and we also delayed backfilling a position for a few months after someone retired, which helped. The recent snowstorm and higher salt prices are eating some of that savings, but expense for highway should come in lower than budgeted. So we should have a surplus, since revenues are tracking right on budget for highway. So that's very good news. Just really quick on a few other items, and I won't go into many of them, but tonight the county is considering a resolution to place solar farm in the town of Glenville. For those of you who didn't know that, join the club, because nobody in the town of Glenville knew that. They did not talk to the local government about this project. We read in the paper it's 2,000 solar panels being placed at the county farm.
How many acres?
We don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. We don't know how it's going to be set up. We don't know how it's going to be screened. I mean, these solar panels are fairly ugly, and the impact they're going to have. Now, for the West Glenville folks, I'm told the county is also looking at putting a solar farm in West Glenville, which is against our zoning, on West Glenville Road and Johnson Road, a property that they sold, tried to sell at auction, didn't sell. They'll be taking that, and they'll probably do another 1,000 solar panels out in West Glenville, which would be wholly incompatible with the topography, with the landscape out there. That we have not been able to confirm with the county, because they're not talking to us about these projects. I told Tony Jasinski, and I called the chairman of the committee, Jeff McDonald, today, and said that we absolutely must be part of the site plan. We're not against renewable energy. We're certainly not against saving money when we can as a county. We're county taxpayers too. But this is in our locality, and we have to have site plan involvement. Certainly we don't have the rights, as they're a higher government, but the folks in West Glenville ought to know that that's on the table right now being talked about, and we need to make sure our county legislators, who are supposed to represent us, understand how we feel about that. So that's going on tonight, unfortunately. I've gotten a lot of calls about the sign at Pig and Whistle. If you haven't seen it yet, it's not pretty. I hate to say it. It's not. It's also not in compliance with our code, or anywhere near compliance with our code. It's an LED light, but they're not living up to it, and it's a pole light. It's not even a monument light where it's supposed to be. So we're addressing that issue. I only bring it up here, and I don't mean to bring it up here because I don't want to speak about things like this in public, but I've gotten a lot of calls on it, and we're working on it. I just want the public to know that we're working with the owners to bring that sign in compliance with our code. It was put up, what was submitted apparently wasn't what was put up, because I know you had a question of how did it even get put up if it's out of compliance, but it's not what was submitted to the building department when the permit was issued. On the good news, you all know we've received a grant to do a study to bring sewers up Route 50. This is a huge first step for the town of Glenville to move forward on that project. We met with one of the engineers that the town's looking at to contract with to start the study. We anticipate getting the funds within probably, or at least being able to start within a month or two. And so we'll start the study to look at bringing sewers up to the county line, up Route 50 from north of Price Chopper. And that will be, I think, a tremendous economic development tool for under what is an underutilized commercial corridor, but also for the residents who are struggling with aging septics and poor soils on one side of Route 50 at the very least, so that will be a positive as well. And as lastly, well, two quick things. Pizza Hut has opened, by the way, in case you haven't gone there yet. They didn't make a big fanfare about it, but they are open next to Hannaford. And I had the opportunity to go to the CEG meeting and meet with the Economic Development Council members on the CFA process. And that was an enlightening experience, but made some good contacts, had some good conversations about projects in Glenville with these folks, and hopefully communicated to them that we hope to have a little more, a few more projects financed hopefully in the next round in June. So right now is when we need to be addressing what we want to do for the CFA in June, and start talking to them early and often about that and keeping them up to date and seeking their input as well. And in that vein, we'll be doing our strategic planning. As I know, the weather, we had to cancel our work session, and we were going to talk about it, but we were able to do it through email. Some people sending their stuff in, and we've got a list. I think I've sent you guys the list of the top 3 initiatives that came out of that, and the bottom 3. Well, I'll be meeting with staff on, actually we're doing an offsite, as you all know, with staff on Friday at the Riverstone Manor, where we'll be doing a strategic planning session on these particular issues. And what my goal will be is to meld the board's vision and the department heads' visions and put together a comprehensive plan that we can all focus on and move forward on 2015. So as that we get through that, we'll be talking more about all of that. And the very last item is we've had a request. I talked to Councilman Ramatar about this, and we're going to have to address it fairly quickly. The Anderson property, there's been a proposal to put a zip line adventure park in the property. So if you're familiar with the property, there's the frontage, and then there's where right now we're composting, and then there's acres upon acres that go back towards what ends up running into the Hostetler building property. And then there's Indian Meadows on the other side of that. We've been working with the school district to take that piece that they own and make it a continuous park from Anderson to Indian Hills. This is the area which is wooded right now that this person is proposing a public-private partnership to lease the land or do some agreement after talking with Mike that would be viable. But what we need from the board is probably at least an indication if you're willing to talk to the person and they can come into the work session, which is now mid-January. So it puts us back quite a bit, but they want a sense of where the board is on it. So we can, if you can think about that, or if you have questions, I can put you in touch with the gentleman. Kevin has also been talking to him, but at least through email, let me know how you feel so I can give him an indication and how we want to go from there. So that's all I have. Any questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, I would like to make some comments with regard to the county's proposal for the solar farm. I would like entered into the minutes for the record for those residents who receive these minutes via email. Our county legislators would be Jim Burmester, Kathy Gatta, Roy Fluman, Tom Constantine, and Grant Sosha. I would urge any resident who cares about what our town looks like to please contact them, because I believe that's probably the only way our voice in Glenville will be heard. I'm not against renewable energy. I'm most certainly in favor of anything that's going to help, environmentally create energy and electricity and all of that, but I think it is shameful and it is completely disrespectful to the residents of this town who elected them to move forward on a project without consulting the other elected officials who actually live in this town. I'm ashamed, I'm embarrassed for them. That conduct or behavior needs to stop. I don't know why they didn't contact us, but quite frankly, it kind of infuriates me that we get snubbed yet again for a project that's going to be in this town. So I would urge again, Jim Burmester, Kathy Gatta, Rory Fluman, Tom Constantine, and Grant Sosha, please, any resident who has any voice whatsoever, please contact your local legislatures and try to help us make this project be something that's not going to look completely out of character with what our town currently looks like. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Questions, comments?
I just want to support Gina in that sentiment. Again, patterns developing here. I mean, we had the nursing home opening in our town. No one was invited, weren't even aware. And now we have a major, potentially two, coming into this community and without representation. I mean, it's a pattern. It's an unfortunate one.
It is.
In this day and age, when we're being told by state government that we have to consolidate and work with other municipalities and have intermunicipal agreements, for the county to do these types of things without consulting us is completely ridiculous. To me, it's completely ridiculous. It flies in the face of cooperation amongst the municipalities to try to make the quality of life better for the residents in the town. To me, that's all our jobs. I don't care if you're the governor or you're just a little town board member sitting here getting aggravated about a solar farm. To me, it doesn't matter. That's your job.
We're still a state of home rule, I believe, despite the governor's assault on municipalities. And I still believe it's good business, either required or not, to engage the municipality in what your project is being done in. And that unfortunately is not happening.
No, it's not, and it is completely ridiculous.
Thank you. Okay, we'll return to the agenda and start with item number 7, resolution appointing a seasonal recreational attendant. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, in order to provide for maintenance and supervision of Indian Meadows Park and skating rinks during the winter months, seasonal recreation attendants annually employed by the town. Be it resolved that Michael Archibald 12 Irving Road, Scotia is hereby reappointed to the position of seasonal recreation attendant effective 12/18/2014 to 3/31/2015 at the budgeted rate of $8 an hour with no benefits.
Excellent. Hopefully we'll get that ski rink open soon. Any questions or comments?
Ski rink?
Skating.
Oh, skating. One of those winter sports that I don't do. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Kettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 8 is resolutions authorizing various 2014 budget amendments. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. As you can see, these are, I know Jason has given everybody kind of a rundown. There's a variety of little housekeeping things that I would call, and then there's some things that are just, making sure that we are tidy before the end of the year on our spending lines. I think, again, we all saw the write-up from Jason. If you have any questions on any of these, now's the time. This is something that we normally do at a special meeting at the end of the year, but Jason being on top of it, we're able to take care of it at this meeting. And again, it's just housekeeping, making sure that our budget lines are matched up correctly by the year's end. Any questions or comments on it?
No, it's thanks to Jason as always. I mean, it's some extensive heady work here, so.
Busy typing away every time I went in to talk to him.
A lot of decimal places here.
Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Kettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 9, authorizing the supervisor to enter into a contract with Jaeger and Flynn. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. As you all are aware, Jaeger and Flynn has been involved in performing services in accordance with HIPAA for us, and it's necessary for us to enter into an agreement for that obligation to continue, and the town finds that in the best interest of us entering into the agreement with Jaeger and Flynn, or they are the best broker, I guess is what you would call it, for HIPAA-related issues. This would then authorize me to enter into the agreement with Jaeger and Flynn to run those services for us. Do I have any questions or comments? They've been doing this for years for us. Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Kettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution, resolution 10, authorizing the supervisor to enter into a contract with Repeat Business Systems. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Again, this is Repeat Business Systems, is our information technology service provider, and they've been working with us for many years. This would allow me as a supervisor to execute the professional service contract with them once again for services in 2015. Seeing no questions or comments, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 11, authorizing the Commissioner of Public Works to purchase one vehicle. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, this resolution is in connection with the purchase of a vehicle for the town of Glenville Building and Code Enforcement staff, for them to regularly inspect sites located throughout the town. They would obviously require reliable transportation to perform their duties. They currently have two vehicles, one being a 2004 Ford Ranger, which is in extensive need of repair. It's been advised by the Commissioner of Public Works that it is not, that we should not be repairing that. The repairs would be too costly, and will outweigh the value of the vehicle. So therefore, we would have a resolution here, which would fund a replacement vehicle in an amount not to exceed $19,000. The amount is budgeted in the approved 2014 budget appropriations, so it is not, it's already approved expense within the 2014 budget. I'm sorry, Commissioner Greenfeld. So that's what this resolution is for, to purchase a vehicle for the building and code enforcement department, not to exceed $19,000. And additionally, upon the purchase of the new vehicle, the 2004 Ford Ranger would be deemed surplus and would be eligible for disposal.
Any questions or comments? Where's it coming from? What line?
It's coming from the equipment line in buildings and codes.
Okay. I don't think it said, oh, it does.
It does say that, yes, my apologies.
No, I missed it. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Resolution 12, setting forth the time and date for our annual organizational meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. This resolution will set forth our organizational meeting here at Town Hall to be conducted on January 7th at 7 p.m. For the purpose of conducting the annual organizational meeting. And our board work session meeting will be January 14th at 7 p.m. here. And then our next board meeting will be January 21st at 7 p.m. here at Town Hall. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution 13, approving monthly department reports. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Approve the monthly department reports for November.
Seeing no other questions or comments, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution is an add-on 1, authorizing an additional $900 in ready funding for a 2014 sign replacement. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, this is a add-on for an additional $900 to be added to the sign replacement program that was funded through our Ready Fund. This is $900 above and beyond the original amount budgeted for the sign program, and that's actually a good thing. It's been a very active year again. I think it's in its third year now. And in keeping with a policy that we've developed as we've gone through this program, we're extending availability of these monies into the village of Scotia to assist businesses there. I think we did it one other time, so there's a precedent set for that, and I think it's the right thing to do. This is in the spirit of intermunicipal cooperation, and businesses that look better in Scotia also make the town look better, and if they're successful, we're all successful. So that's the spirit in which this is offered, and it's for a $900 add-on to the program from the Ready Fund.
For Jade Bistro,
For a Jade Bistro, yes.
which looks great.
Yep.
Haven't eaten there yet. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. We'll go to item 14 before our executive session, which is new business. I'll start on my left, Councilman Ramichardt.
Nothing new, just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and Happy Holidays.
Councilwoman Rosbowski.
I echo Councilman Rivera's comments. Happy every holiday that's happening right now. I'm not sure of them all, but I hope everyone enjoys their time with their families, because that's really what it's all about, no matter what you're celebrating.
Councilman Martin.
I agree. I echo those sentiments as well. Happy holidays, everyone.
Well, I know we're in Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah to
Yeah.
those who celebrate.
They get started today.
Christmas, yesterday.
Oh, yesterday, okay.
And I know Christmas is coming up, so Merry Christmas to all of those that celebrate Christmas, and Happy New Year to everybody. And I'm looking forward to a very productive and prosperous new year for us. And again, enjoy time with your family over the next couple of weeks. And we'll be back here again soon. So with that, we'll go to executive, or entertain a motion to go executive session.
I'll move it.
Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're executive session. Some question.